Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's tutorial. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and yeah, welcome. And also, before I go any further, I want to mention our new subscribers. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys for hitting the subscribe button and watching the last tutorials, giving me some feedback and everything. It's been really helpful, and it's good to know that you guys are actually working on it too. I actually checked it out the other day, and there's 20 of y'all in there, so that's pretty dope. And yeah, today we're actually going to be working on another tutorial. This time it's going to be strictly in Figma only. So we're going to be taking the details of this brief right here that you see in front of me, and we're going to be translating that over to a Figma design. And it's a church redesign, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with it, try some things out. I'm going to do a lo-fi design just really quickly, just kind of a quick, like, just imagine a drawing, but it's digital. And then I'm going to take that and we're actually going to do a hi-fi, ready for client type of design. So that's what we're working on today. Before I go any further, for those of you who are new to me, new to my videos, welcome and thank you. My name is Dexter Washington Jr. I run a web design and development company. It's called Crafted Studios. We're also Webflow expert partners as well. Speaking of Webflow, if you haven't seen the tutorials I just put out 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that, I recommend that you do so. It teaches you the very foundation of Webflow, how to create, CSS grids, how to use Flexbox, and we're taking a Figma design in that case. We're taking a Figma design and we're translating it into Webflow. So you want to check that out? Go ahead and check that out. It's dope. So, and I also appreciate your feedback on there as well. But I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Let's. Oh wait, let me blow out this candle. It's getting a little sunny out. Oh wait, look at this. Can you see this? Wait a minute. Hold on. Damn, that's hot wax. Almost wilding out. Check this out. Paid invoice. I'm telling you guys need this for your workspace. It changes the vibes instantly. Instantly. This is fresh ozone plus sea salt. Smells like the vacation you deserve, or like the vacation I haven't taken because I've been busting my ass. But man, smells bomb, man. I promise. You guys should cop this candle. And the bonus with this candle too is that invoices just happen to get paid. I don't know. It's crazy. It's wild. I know. It sounds ridiculous. But as soon as you light this, the vibes turn instantly to immaculate and all your invoices are paid. So I highly recommend that you pick up this candle. On a serious note though, support another creative, Lindsay Created. I will leave a link down below to the candle. She also has a YouTube channel too. So check that out. If I do find the link, if I find her channel, I will leave it below. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Let me turn this back on. And yeah, I'm done wilding out for today. So let's continue to look over this brief real quick and we close myself out. And let's talk about this just a little bit. So this is, of course, from a real client design, like it always is. And I mean, a real client brief, as always. And I took out all the important information, so a lawyer will not come at your DMs or at your inboxes all crazy. Trust me, you're good to go. Let me actually cut my camera right back on. Hold on. There we go. Because I at least want to talk to you through this part. So essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be creating the homepage today. These are here just to pretty much understand what our navigation and footer bars are going to look like. And then they also do have some design requests. So we have right here rounded corners for a more friendly look, quote unquote. You'll see a lot of these in apps and stuff like that. It's just a more friendly, more softer look. It's not too contemporary. It's not too blocky. Looks just right for some designs. So we're going to be playing around with that. Modern gradients. I have some ideas. I think some Gaussian blur gradients. I think that's also a good opportunity to teach you guys how to do that as well. And then yeah, sans typeface. You can't go wrong with the sans typeface. In this case, we're going to be using Founders Grotesque. That's one of their favorite typefaces. And then custom cursor. So even though we're not developing a Webflow though, I still do like to create the cursor so that way they have a good understanding of what it might look like when it's actually developed all the way out. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And then there's a little bit of inspiration right here if you guys want to look at that and pretty much put your own spin on this. But that's it. That's it. Let me read the description a little bit real quick. So it says Rise Community Church is looking to build out a new website for their church. So they would like to see their brand colors added into the elements, which are blue and yellow. They want a cleaner user experience and a way for their team to upload content in an easy and manageable way. That's for Webflow. Don't worry about it. But the overarching goal here is to incorporate the branding and to pretty much shine a light on the church in a different way compared to how their old site is. And that's pretty much it, guys. So we're gonna have some fun, explore a little bit on what this might look like. But that's it. Let's just go ahead and get started. So let me close this out. Make sure we're good to go. Let me close this too. And I have my Lorem Ipsum generator open because, of course, I don't have any content. So I'm going to be relying on this. I am going to be filling out the headers as we go, though. And let's take a look at the assets. So this is what we have to work with. You see some of these are like graphics I had to make real quick just to kind of, make this feel a little bit more like a real project and not just a bunch of Unsplash and Pexels photos like jumbled all together. Okay. And that's it. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm aiming for half an hour to 45 minutes. In the future, though, I would like to kind of, make these even more refined. But let's see what happens. Let's explore around and let's try some things out. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the frame. And let's go ahead and select our iMac frame. And like I said before, I'm going to do a quick lo-fi design. And that's just going to give me an idea of what the layouts might look like. And then we're going to build out the hi-fi one. So there's going to be no text here. I'm just going to do blocks. Okay, you can do text if you're seriously, working on a project. I don't want you guys here all day, and I don't want to divvy this up into two videos. So I'm just going to do the blocks. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's start off with our hero block. And what I'm going to do first is let me drag this out. If I need to make this bigger or smaller later, I will. So I'm going to do first, I'm going to add our nav bar. So let's go ahead and grab our rectangle and we're going to throw this in here. And then also too, for those of you who are new to Figma as well, this is our move. So this is for moving elements around. And a quick shortcut to that, if you hit K, you actually can scale things around. And then if you want to get out of this mode, without going up here and clicking on it again, you can hit V. And that just kind of puts you right back to move. And you have frames here, of course, like I just selected for different frames. We have our shapes. We have our rectangle, our line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and our image. So whenever we want to place a image in somewhere, we can go ahead and do that. This is a vector tool, so this is your pen and this is your pencil. Once in a while, though, I will use a pencil. I don't use the pen too often, though. So we have our text. We have our hand tool, which might be valuable in case you want to just kind of, maneuver around the workspace. And this is for feedback. So this is really good when you're working on real client projects. You can leave some feedback, and then they can answer that feedback. And, you can always just kind of have real-time updates with clients, which is pretty cool. So that's something you can utilize when you guys are working on real project like we always do as well. Right? So, and then as I go to, I will always make sure to kind of explain what I'm doing. So first and foremost, let me actually just make this nav bar set to 120. That's just kind of like where I'm at with things usually, considering the padding and everything like that inside of Webflow. So 120 is actually a pretty good space. And then let's grab our rectangle. And now for our hero sections, I usually like to do 600. Cool. And for our nav bar, let's do white. Nice. Cool. So this is our hero section. Nothing too crazy. I do imagine a play button somewhere over here to the right. But for now, let's not worry about that and let's keep going. So with this site, we do need to add somewhere to place our ministries. Now we can do this a couple of different ways. We can do this to where we have our squares and our text underneath. For example, we can do squares and some text underneath here. And then just have it laid out like that. Or what we can do is we can just place pretty much one big square, something like this. And actually, I want to also measure, the distances between two elements. Just hold down Alt while hovering over the other one. So you're going to want to select the one that you want to move around, and you're going to want to hover over the other element. And while you're hovered over at the same time, hold down the Alt key, and that's going to give you direct measurements between the distance between the two elements. Okay, so what we can do is we can create almost like a content wrapper, and inside of that wrapper we can place more of the boxes inside of it. So that way it's like almost like an editorial or a newspaper type grid, which is something that I think looks pretty nice, pretty modern, and it fits the description of what they want. So that's what I'm thinking there, and I'm gonna make this also 600 as well. That might look pretty nice, right? And I think right here for as far as text goes, I think I want to add something in here. So I think I want to do like our mission or something like that. Our mission at like Rise, and then oops, I mean do that. And then I want to do like a dash or something like that, and then just keep doing it over and over and over again. Something like this, you know. Let's go ahead and stretch it all the way out. So something like this, and then of course it would be way bigger. Maybe even like 85. Actually, the little bit smaller one was all right. Something like that. And then from the our mission, this is going to act as a header, so that way when they come into the content here, I'm imagining blocks coming off the website itself. And guys, this is just a quick mock-up once again, so I'm not worried about being too precise. I'm just getting thoughts onto the table. I mean thoughts onto the canvas. Also, another trick too, if you're not too sure, measurement wise, how close you should go. One thing, sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. But what you can do is you can always come over here to width, so you can stretch your rectangle across. Come over to width and then just do divided by 2. Hit enter and it's going to give you the exact half measurement of whatever that is. In this case, that's exactly what I want. I like 91 in between just for now. I'm going to copy and paste that over here. And I want probably 60 in between, or maybe 80 in between. That looks good. Oops. Go back, put it back to 80. Cool. And then copy again. Put it back to 80. Cool. And then make this a little bit larger. So that is, so essentially we have our hero, we have our ministry section. This is going to have little grids inside of it. And then we're going to have our about section. So I'm going to have a few key pieces of, what they stand for and all that good stuff right here. And then as we go down here, I'm thinking we can add probably like a newsletter section or something like that. So let's make this full length. And we'll do 400 for this. And the spacing in between, it's really fine where it's at. But just for the sake of it, let me go ahead and do 120. And then after that, I'm thinking that we can have a section for the both of the pastures, so maybe around like 300 or something like that. We can do it to where it's like something like this. Yeah, something like that. We have text over here on the left side. Make this a little larger once again. And then I'm thinking we can just add a footer down here somewhere. And then that will be it. I think something like this might be pretty cool. This is just fleshing out ideas, guys. That's the whole point of this whole thing. But I'm kind of liking how this is feeling. What do you think? I'm kind of liking it. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie. So this is what we'll work with then. I don't know why actually. What do y'all think? I feel like some Dora the Explorer type shit. Like you guys aren't gonna tell me anything. It's not like you guys are gonna reply or anything. Not like I can hear y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate these if that's the case. Since we're rolling with this, um, let's actually name this our hi-fi. Designers are probably screaming at me right now because I'm doing stuff all technically wrong and not, yada yada, whatever, man. I don't care. I really don't, man. I just don't. It's all good though. All right. So I'm liking this. So I think what I'm gonna do now is come back in here, and I'm gonna refine a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna delete this. Oops. I'm just holding down Shift as I click on Elements 2 in case you're wondering what I'm doing. So we're gonna start from the top. All right. Cool. So let's grab our logo. That's huge. You know what? This is pretty fire though. I wouldn't mind doing this in a real site, right? Like imagine that. That's like your header. Like that's your entry. That's kind of fire. Not gonna lie, but that's like on an awards type site. That's like a project site. Like or an agency, some type of contemporary design. But we're not doing that right now. So, um, yeah. Sorry about that. Let me grab that again. Cool. And before I go any further, before I forget, let me go ahead and add our layout. So, whoops. So let me grab our layout. In this case, what I like to do is I like to do columns, count 12, and then I like to do gutter 25. That's how I like to set up my grids. Make this a little bit smaller. Cool. And this gives us some space, probably like around 100. Yep. Let's see. I want like 80. Yeah, 84 is fine. Cool. I like this so far. And let's keep on building. So let's add our hero section image now. And I think I'm going to want to place something. Let's see what we should find here. I want something that's kind of, make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. It didn't actually make the images bigger. That's cool. That's fine. Yeah, it's not doing it. That's fine. There we go. So what I'm looking for an image that I can rest a play button over to the right. And this one might be the best one because the rest of them don't really have too much space. I mean, this one does if you put it up here, but the rest of them might be a little too busy. So I think I'm going to use this one. And the cropping looks fine to me. So I'm going to leave it just how it is. And then I'm going to add a black filter on top just a little bit. We're going to leave it at 20, just how it is. And how I did that is I just clicked on this plus sign and then added a fill to it. And then if you want to make any adjustments, you can go ahead and do that in the percentages there. But that's how you do that. And let's go ahead and add in our text. So let's put maybe like a welcome to Rise, something like that. Let's straighten it out, and by doing that, you can actually hit auto width, and it's going to actually straighten it out for you. And then let's do 55 for our. Let's do. Yeah, let's do. Yeah, let's see. Let me think. Let's actually just delete this. Let's keep it Rise. Welcome to Rise. And now that I look at it, I kind of want to move these two over here. All right. And let me make this bold. Cool. And then our secondary text, let me turn off this light 1 second. Our secondary text is actually going to be a probably something really simple like enter. So enter is usually a good pairing. Whoops. What did I just do? So enter is usually a pretty good pairing for most other texts just because, and let me grab our lorem ipsum. just because what it does, it's like it's a really simple, non, I guess, designed in current typeface. So it allows you to be pretty flexible with it. It's almost kind of like Roboto in a way, which is something that I like. So let's make this like maybe like eight, maybe like 20. Let's do 20. Then I'm gonna want to do so with founders. There's always a little bit of a overhang when it comes to the bottom of it, but let's push it up to 10. Cool. Cool. And then before I go any further, though, I actually want to make 60 our hero text. So let me copy this and put it out here. This is going to be our heading 1. And then I could already kind of imagine that our heading 2 is going to be somewhere around like 50, yeah, like 50 or something like that. Cool. Right. So let's throw that up there. Nice. So this is kind of like an idea of what how the hero might look like. Before I go any further, though, let me create our color palette because we're actually going to be making some buttons right now. So what I want to do is I want to use this photo here because it has all the colors that I want to use. Like this somewhere up here. And what I want to do is I want to grab some squares here and just kind of add these to it. We'll see these kicking in. So let me actually ah there we go. All right. So with the first one, I think what I want to do is I want to grab the blue. So let me just kind of create an effect. And what this effect does is it pretty much blurs out the pixel count to the photograph. So let me show you without it. So as you get closer, you see these little pixels here? Well, each and every single one of these blocks represent a different color. The problem with this is when you're selecting colors, you might be hovering over a different color just by moving your mouse one square up. And to kind of eliminate some of that and see the color for what it actually is instead of pixel by pixel, we're going to want to create a layer blur. So let me do that, layer blur, and then I'm going to want to put this probably at like 25. And now you see how the squares got much smaller. So the probability of us hovering over a different pixel from corner to corner is actually a lot smaller. From square to square is a lot smaller now, and it's a lot more easy to see the colors on a wider scale. So that's why we do it. You can even turn this up just a little bit more, and the more you do it, the more smaller the squares just tend to get. So let's grab our blue first. So let me go ahead and grab this, and let's go to our color selector right here. I like the lighter blue, so something like that. Maybe even like a something like that. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Let's grab a yellow. I want it a little bit lighter, something like that. Even a little lighter. So let's go towards the light. Cool. And then for this one, we're just going to do white. This one, we're going to do black, but not all the way black. Something like this. Or maybe we can go into the blue, and then kind of make a shade of like a blue, dark blue, black, indigo type color. Something like that's good. And then I'm also going to create one more. With this, I'm going to make pure black. See the difference? There's a minor difference, but it shows up in big ways, especially on larger sections. Make it a little bit more blue. There we go. Cool, so that is our color palette. Since I grouped those already, let me go ahead and put color pal dash rise. That's our color palette. We remove this image and we're good to go. So already, I told you guys I'm pretty unorthodox when it comes to this stuff. I build stuff and then I do stuff afterwards. It's the OCD in me, it's hard for me to be super systemized all the time, like especially when it comes to creative work. But this is what we're working with so far, and so far so good. So far so good. So next we're going to create our buttons. Now I know a couple of you guys actually kind of were wondering how to create components or why they're even necessary. So in some cases, components are good to reuse elements, especially for buttons. In some cases, they allow your buttons to grow or shrink depending on what the content inside of it, which is super useful. So that way you're not always resizing something. So let's go ahead and create a button now. Um, Let me restart that over. I didn't like the way that felt. There we go. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a text inside of it. And I'm going to do join us. Doesn't matter because I'm going to make this a little smaller. Double click. Cool. You get this away from this. And I'm going to make this all caps as well. Whoops. I might need to actually make this smaller now. Somewhere around there is fine. And let me increase the spacing in between. Whoops. I mean the spacing in between, not that. So we're going to come right here to letter spacing. Maybe 3%. I didn't mind 4. 4 is pretty nice. So let's make this that blue. There we go. I like that. You know what? I might even do something a little lighter like this. That might be a little bit better. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to round the corners. Let's do about 12. About 10. Dial it back just a little bit. Cool. And then I'm going to group this, and then I'm going to create this as a component right here at the top. And then now we have our component. So this is going to be called blue button. And then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to create a variant of this button. And then I'm going to call this ghost button. So we're going to do ghost button. So we have blue button and ghost button. And with our ghost button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click and I'm going to remove the fill, add a stroke of 2, and then add our blue. Same thing with the text. And there we go. We have our group for buttons ready to go. And these are going to be the buttons I'm going to use across the platform. And yeah, that's that. So that is that. So let's continue to build out the rest of our hero now that we have all of that set up. So let's grab our button. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's make this a lot smaller. And I'm thinking around maybe, I don't want it too far away, probably 30 might be best. I might even let the content breathe just a bit. Yeah, let's do that. 35, there we go. And let's link all this up, and all I'm gonna do is center this. There's fine. You know what? Maybe this even is okay in yellow. Let's see how this looks. Blue. Yeah, it's just the blue is a little bit. You know what? Let's do that. Let's actually create a more sharper, like yellow, something like that. I actually do like the way that feels a little bit better. Oops. But let me see though. Do I? I mean, it does definitely stand out compared to the rest of it, but hmm. I guess this kind of works. This kind of works. Um, it's not too bad. It does really stand out as a CTA, so it does make sense in that case. Um, I think what I would do is just make this yellow a little bit more energetic, for lack of a better term. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, something like that is okay. And then, of course, this only looks good if it is black. Yep. I don't know. I'm kind of on and off the fence about it, though. You know what? Let's play it safe right now. I don't have time to go back and forth. This is a YouTube channel. I mean, this is a YouTube tutorial anyway. Um, you know what? Let's just go ahead and make it yellow. It's gonna frustrate me if I don't. So we're gonna make it that yellow. Cool. That is that. So let's go ahead and add our play button. Remember that play button I mentioned a little bit earlier? So let's add that right now. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the fill, add the stroke, and then let's do two. Let's do maybe four for this one. I'm going to actually duplicate this. And with the one inside of it now is selected, and I'm going to make this a little smaller. So now we have a double ring in this case. And then now I'm going to grab a polygon, which is a triangle, of course. You know, I kept up with geometry a little bit, you know? So negative 90. And then let's do black, of course. Oh, actually, this whole thing is going to be white. And then with this, I'm going to make it a little smaller. Move this over to the right just a bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of rounding to the corners. I'm thinking 3 looks pretty good. Cool. And I think that's it. Let me actually group this. Call it play button. And a lot smaller. Something like that, you know? Let's see how this looks. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Let me space this out just a bit. OCD started to kick in. There we go. Fine. Fine at 35. Cool. All right, so now that the hero is done, let's keep on building. Double check that. I like that. And then now that the hero's done, let's keep building. So let's actually complete our navigation bar here, and we're going to add our text. Remember the text that we had here, so let's go ahead and grab that. So let's do events. We're going to do about. How to duplicate, how I'm duplicating everything too is holding down Alt and just kind of hovering over with my mouse. I'm thinking around somewhere around like 45 across. So let me do this. I'm pushing this down a little because I want to add our ministries right here. Why did I do that for? What in the world? I don't know what happened there, but okay. Ministries, events, about, contact. Um, I think I'm missing. I think we're missing one. About contact. I think that's it. Ministries, events, about, contact. I think that's it. That's it. Cool. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select all of these and tidy up a bit. And then I'm going to place them right here, which is fine. I think I might even want to turn these down a little bit more. So around maybe 19. Well, that's why it's not getting even. Let me close this. There we go. And then lastly, too, I want to do another button, and this time it's going to be our ghost button. Make this smaller. $109. Okay, so let me actually move this over. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this, and I'm just going to center all of this. Cool. And let's take a look at this. Perfect. And there we go. I think lastly what I want to do is I want to create like a little drop down, just kind of a little shape just to, represent a drop down. And I think I want to add what I want to do. I think that's what I want to do here. I'm trying to debate. Okay, let me actually group all these together. Right click group, and then I'm going to name this navigation. I'm just going to name it nav. Then I'm going to select frame here, just so that we always have like a frame here to work with. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do with that. And then next I'm going to, I want to do a drop down. I don't know. Well, let's not worry about that because we don't even have content for a drop down. So we won't worry about that. I think we're looking pretty smooth so far though. I actually want to turn this back to blue because it just flows a little bit better. Cool. Let's keep designing. Let me take off my hat. It's getting a little hot. Jeez, man, it's hot today. As you can see, it's 82. which it feels like 90. All right, let's keep designing. Yeah, we're fine here for now. I might come back a little bit later, but we're okay. All right, so next, remember we have to build our ministry section. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to actually just kind of drag this in here. That's in the center now. Let's make sure that we get all this even. And let's see if we're even on both sides. Yep. And then I'm going to grab that black. Remember the black that I mentioned that was kind of bluish? And let's push this up to 50. Cool. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to round off the corners. Let's do 10. Cool. Let's actually do maybe 8. Cool. So it's beveled enough. And the next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our text for this. And remember we have our heading here. So we're going to use our heading too in over here as well. And let's make this white. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to say join our ministries. Put this here. Cool. Cool. And then inside of here, that's going to live inside of all this. It's going to be our grid. And with our grid, we're going to be placing some of our assets. So like this one, and then probably a few more that I'm going to select. So let's create that now. So let's do our rectangle here. I'm thinking something like this, maybe a little bit larger like that. I think that might work out pretty well. I'm not too sure though, but I'm kind of liking the feeling of it. But let's test it out and see. And I want to do actually an even 20 to the spacing. And now that I really start to see this, what we're going to have to do is we have to make these squares a little bit larger. Cool. And then how much spacing we have in between here. Cool, let's do 20. All right. And then let me make this larger. I think 800 will be okay. Yep. So let's do 20 here as well. And then I'm going to space this out just a bit. I think something like that. Let's duplicate this. We're making a 5 pretty much row grid. So let me have to zoom in a bit so I can get more precise. 14, 15, 19, 20. Cool. So this is our 5, pretty much our 5 square grid. And this is what we're going to be using for our ministries. So let me go ahead and round these corners. I think 6 might be okay. Try 8. Yep, that looks pretty good. And lastly, I'm going to center this as well. Cool. Cool. And then let's go ahead and add all of our images now. So we're going to select this one of our rectangles, and we're going to go to image. We're going to choose an image. And then I think for the first one, let's go ahead and add our Bible study. It's okay that it's not the same size. I mean, this wasn't built with that in mind anyway, so it's okay. Well, let me see how it looks here. If it works, I'll just do it that way. It's a little better right there. I think I like that. Oh, you know what I can do too? I can also do just fit, but then it will be kind of missing the top and the bottom. So I'm not too sure, but I'd rather have it this way so at least all the text fits in there compared to this. So let's keep going. At this point, I'm just kind of adding whatever images I can kind of find here. And then for this one, I want to go to crop. And let's go ahead and move this up. Whoa. Let's go ahead and select crop again. Cool. And let's move this up a little bit so we can see the people. And then I think for this one, I want to add, let's see, let's add this one. Cool. And then for the last one, I want to add one more image. I think let's go with the crowd. Let's go with the group image. I think maybe this might be okay. You know what? Let's use this for the events. And let's actually just take one of these. Let's take this one. That's good. So let's see how this looks. Yeah, I like that. It looks smooth. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty smooth so far. So let's keep working. We're gonna keep working. All right. So next, I think it's time to finally add this piece of content here. But with this, I want to actually redo it. So I want to have our want to actually, let's see, bring this in a little bit. I want to delete all of them except for the first one. Cool. For me, I like the M dash, so the longer dash. And to create that, we're going to do our character map. Well, at least I am because I'm using a old ass laptop. So, if there's a better way for you guys to do yours, go ahead and flex on me then. So let's copy this. And then that's pretty much how I like to create those long dashes, but let's keep going. And I think this time I'm only going to need to put it 3 times. Cool. So let me do our auto width once again, and there we go. I think we're going to, let me do 100, just to leave a little bit of room, just in case I want to add some interactions there. But we're looking good so far. All right. And then let's keep building. So at this point now we have our, this is the header for our about section. So now we can go ahead and just fill in this stuff with images from the church and then add some content about the church. So I think with the first one, we should start off with a humanitarian approach. So let's do that. Whoops. I actually just want to copy this. Is that off the frame? Yeah. Cool. And then let's go ahead and add our, looks like they're giving away food or something like that, which is nice. People are nice. Restore the faith in humanity, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's wilding out right now. And then we're going to come back to our heading 2. Um, you know what we're going to do actually, since this is based off of a very large text, and this is our heading 2. Um, I think what I'm going to do now is, yeah, I think our heading 2 makes sense here. Yeah, so let's grab our heading 2, paste. And I know this is kind of, it's kind of stretched out, right? Like this is all the way over here and this is all the way over here. And I think the paragraph might fill it up a little bit more, but we'll just have to see. So let's do, let's see, get back to our communities or something like that. Make sure that's a line left. Make sure it's on 2 lines. Yeah, see, I'm thinking that maybe we can do, I think we can even do a smaller heading. So let's do this. So let's do 45, and then let's do semi bold. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I kind of like that. Maybe even a little smaller. Yep. So 42 is officially our heading 3. See how like I kind of work as I go. So, whoops. All right. As I go, I just kind of imagine, picture, and then I make sure it's set in stone. And for our paragraph text, we're going to do enter as well. Remember, this one underneath our header is 20. And I think in this case, though, we should do probably 18. So let's make this black. So let's do 18. And let's do, yeah, well, let me actually close this gap a little bit more. Let's do 20. And I like to do the center. That's fine. See though how it's like kind of, it's spaced a little bit off. So what I'm thinking we can do is we can also add our text here. That also can work. That way it aligns with this text as well. So that's not too bad. That's something that we can do. Either we can do that or we can make our photos a little bit larger. But I like the way this feels too. It's aligned with this. It still makes sense at the end of the day. Everything is kind of, it doesn't shift back over here all of a sudden. So it still works out. So I kind of like it. I think it still works. So let's do that. Um, yeah, it still works. I like the way that feels still. If anything, though, we don't have to always stay constrained to these. We can push back a little bit more too. And I'm thinking this might be fine. I like the white space. That's really why. That's really why I like stuff that's kind of too close or too big. Sometimes it doesn't always make sense. So to continue, and remember we're going to do 80 as far as our spacing in between. Cool. And I'm just gonna grab this and I'm gonna copy it and put it way somewhere down here. Um, so this is the other challenging part for me, just to see where this stacks up. I'm thinking right here, right there in the middle might be okay. Um, see, this has a space of 192, 150, 217. Maybe we can even push it to here somewhere. So this one is spaced out just the second line over here, and then this one we can do the same. So it would be right here somewhere. It might be where it works. Yep, that looks about right. So let's add our second piece about the church. We grow as one. I know it's cheesy. What do y'all want from me, man? What do you guys want from me? Actually, you know what? Growth. No, it's not about growth at church. It's about understanding. It's about spirituality. It's about passion. Um, Understanding love. Let's do something like that. I don't know, guys. Wait, I'm not a copywriter. I don't know. Why you guys chuckling at me? I feel y'all chuckling at me. All right. That's good. Maybe I should even make this 2 lines. What do you think? I think so. Yeah. So let's actually make this. We give you understanding of love. What this shit? What should this be? Oh, group sessions online or live. This is something like that. Like a little benefit of something. I actually want to kind of close this gap a little bit. And yeah, it feels a little spacey, and that's the whole point. Um, I would even suggest that like we have more copy that kind of like expands a little bit further. So let's go ahead and add maybe 2 sentences. What? Why did you do 2%? There we go. It's a little bit more text. There we go. Cool. There we go. All right. And then lastly, let's go ahead and enter. Um, let's go ahead and do our last picture. And I think this picture is going to be. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just find out. Make sure we're hitting our 80 space. Is this accurately? There we go. Cool. And I think for this one, let's see. I think for this one, I kind of like. Um, let's see. Maybe this one. We haven't added this one yet. So let's do this one. So that way they can see, maybe this is a photo of the church. Let's go ahead and do crop once again so we can make sure that this is in the screen. I'm going to put that cross just at the very, very top. Cool, and then I'll actually just duplicate this. Make sure it's lined up with the other content. As you can see, 3 lines appear, meaning that we're all lined up nice and well. There we go. Cool. And this is 80, right? Yeah, it's 80. So is this? Yep. So let's see how this looks. I like it. Smooth so far. And then lastly, we can just put, let's see. Um, I don't even know what to put here, guys. Let's see, home. Let's see. Oh yeah, we could just put local events and food, I guess, or maybe local events and services. Sure, we could do something like that. Maybe they like, maybe like they do other humanitarian work aside from this. They do group sessions online or live, or something like that. And then lastly, too, what I want to do is I want to make all this text here. I'm just selecting all of it. Last thing I want to do is I just want to create like some dark gray text here, just so we can have some hierarchy to this. This is fine. And then also, while I'm at it, I'm going to create a swatch for this. Grab this, create a swatch for that. Boom, and this is just our text. That's regular. Cool, everything is looking good. I like it so far, man. This is actually coming out real smooth. Okay, so we're almost done here. So next we're gonna add our newsletter section. And good thing I actually went ahead and switched some things around, because this wouldn't have worked if I didn't stretch out our canvas. So let's make sure that this is connected. We're gonna do 100. Let's just do 100 here. And remember that one image I mentioned earlier that I want to make an event? We're gonna use that. Where is it at? It's that one where, there we go. No, I think it was this one. Yep, it's this one. That's actually pretty cool. It's like a. Let's see how it looks without the red, because I see some conflicts possibly. Actually, that's pretty cool how it's blending in a way. But I don't know how I all the way feel about that screen being right there. So let's try this. That looks like a concert. Okay, let's calm down. Let's relax. Let's find a. You know what? Maybe we do have to use something like this again. Yeah. Everyone, all these look like concerts. All churches like this these days. I haven't been to church in probably 8 years. Um, so I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. But one thing I am going to do though is I'm going to crop this just a bit so we see a little bit more of the crowd. So we don't have so much. Let me get rid of there. That's a little better. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a concert still, but that's something that we'll have to deal with, right? It's all good. So in that case, though, let's keep building, and I think we're gonna want to add our H2 here. So let's copy this, add it here, send to the front. Um, Upcoming events. Let's do that. Upcoming events. Cool. And then yeah, let's grab our text. Which text is this? Okay, so since this is an announcement text, we'll actually grab our 20 from here and we'll paste it here. That didn't work. So let's do that. We'll keep announcement text at 20. Cool. And then lastly, let's go ahead and enter our input. Let me do this real quick. So let's enter our input for our bar here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab our rectangle and let's build this out. I want it kind of anchored to the bottom. And I want it to be 6 on all sides. Let's do actually 4 on all sides. I want to make this white. Let's add our text in here, and let's do an email text. So let's just do email. That's a little too big, of course. So let's turn this down to maybe 17. Way smaller than that. Let's do 12. And let's do like a medium. Let's do like a bold. We're actually going to turn this down just a bit. Semi-bold's fine. Cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a button here. So this would be a custom button in this case. So from here all the way down to the end. And since this is 6 all the way, since this is 4 all the way around, what we're going to do here is we're going to create pretty much custom corners here. So we're going to do top right, we're going to do 4. And then we're going to do top right 4. Whoops, I said that twice. So this must have been bottom right. Yep. Cool. And that fits right in there perfectly. And then with this, I'm going to use our gold. And then I'm going to create an arrow. So let's do this. Something like that. And let's turn this down just a bit. Let's do 2. Should we do the button blue? Let's see how that looks. No, we'll keep it black. Cool. Right. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subtext. And I'm going to just copy this. And let's create our subtext. Let's do maybe 12. Let's do 15. Since this is 18, this is 20. Let's do 15 here. For upcoming events. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yep, we'll do something like this. Yeah, that seems about right. Let's see if I can see. I just shoot. I don't want that. I don't want it to really be on 2 lines like this. So let's actually go ahead and increase this. Should we do it the same size as this? This is 18. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, something like that's fine. And then, you know what I could have did actually? Just go back to 15, right? 15, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to then create maybe like a heading 4, and then we're just gonna put subscribe. So there we go. We got our subtext size, and we got our heading 4 already. And then let's do, since this is 42, let's do like 30 here. Even smaller. Let's do 20, 25. Yeah, be good. Yep. So that so that is our heading 4. It's not even technically a heading, but it's all good. Yeah, it's not even technically a heading, really. It could just be a subtext nonetheless, but that's what we'll name it for now. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost complete. It's coming out real smooth, though. Um, Lastly, though, what we're going to work on is we're going to be working on our pasture images. So let's copy these over here. Thirty across, something like that. Um, yeah, that's fine. Cool. And then remember how we used to do it in the how we did it in the last tutorial. For those of you who watched that, we're gonna be pretty much doing the same thing here. So let's grab the image of this pasture, who's super passionate, and then let's grab her. She looks pretty calm. She's chilling compared to him. It's all good. That's what we'll do. And then let's go ahead and add our inputs for this. Something like this is fine. Yep, something like that's okay. Um, I wouldn't make it any larger than that. I don't think. If I need to though, I will. So let's go ahead and make this blue. Okay. And then I'm gonna add their names to this. And this will be our heading 5, and then we'll just call her Sheila. I don't know, man. Sheila Smith. Hey, man, I be making this stuff up. Don't come for me if this sounds wild, all right? And then we're gonna create another text underneath it, and we're just gonna call her pasture. And then let's do a regular. Let's turn this down to 20. Oh, let's do enter for this actually. Oh wait, no, it's fine. Let's do this. Cool. Now let's copy this and throw this over here. Oh wait, I want this to be over just a little bit. And we'll call him this. Let's say they're husband and wife type situations, and then I'll go ahead and I'll just do this real quick, and I will make this our lighter text. I mean, a darker text. Let's see. Should we make this yellow? I don't think so, but let's see how this looks anyway. Nope, that's a no go. So there we go. There we go. Now that I look at it, though, we can also make this yellow. Excuse me. Cool. I like that. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this text here and drag it down here since it's essentially going to be the same thing. Oh man, I gotta select all of it. Make this a little bit smaller. So I can move this somewhere that makes more sense. Cool. Move them over one more time. All right. There we go. I just wanted to get it lined up right there with that other text, and we're good. All right. And then I think for this one, we're going to introduce our H2s. So let's grab that. Whoa. Bring that to the front. I don't know why sometimes it does that. Let me do this one more time. Oh, I know why. It's outside of the frame, I think. Oh, I didn't name this. So what I'll do then is I'll just grab the one up top. I didn't name it. You kidding me? It's still not there? Hey. No, now I lost it. There we go. It's just not in the frame. That's the frustrating part. There we go. What in the world? All right, you know what? Enough. Let me just do this all over. All right, let's see. Oh, meet your pastures, right? That would be it. Cool. Trying to find a place to put all this content that makes sense. So let's line this up. What size is this? 300? I can even bring this down to 200. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. You guys are playing me, man. There we go. Let's try to get this down to like a 200 or something like that. Yep, perfect. All right. Now what I can do is I can line everything up like I wanted to. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up as well. 20. Put that somewhere in the center. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think this could be a little different as well, but I think that's overall kind of like what I think should look would look pretty good right there. Let's just say there's two texts, maybe it's kind of a long paragraph, and then we can have like a move this up a little bit more. I'll try to I'll aim it towards like aligning it with the top one, maybe so. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe I can place this one a little bit down more. Yeah, something like that. And then what I can also do is say, for example, this text is starting to run off a little bit. We can also add like a read more to imply that just to imply that pretty much like this is starting to run off on its course, and we're gonna need to pretty much place um, a section where people can click a drop down and they can read more content. So let's add a cross. And guys, we're getting a little bit strapped for time here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna actually add a footer that I've already had built, and that's just pretty much gonna wrap it up. But I think we did pretty good here, though. I think we came pretty far and we did pretty good. I just don't want to waste too much of your guys' time here, since we are hitting the hour point, and I just want to make sure that everybody is still, awake and engaged and everything like that. So, you know, just want to make sure that everyone's kind of staying focused on the design at hand. Let me increase this a little bit to one. Maybe I could even do a little bit larger. Let's do maybe two. Cool. Now I want to make this yellow. No, actually purple. I mean blue. What am I thinking? Cool. That's what I'll do. All right. I don't know why, but I feel like it looks better like this. Huh. This is something I have to play with a little bit, just to get the experience right. But I think it's heading in the right direction for sure. There we go. Okay. So far so good. I like the way this feels. Once again, yeah, I would really have to play with this just a little bit so it makes just a little bit more sense. Um, I could even yeah I could do meet the pastures to kind of shorten this up a bit, or meet our pastures. But that might that might be it. So yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. Lastly, I think what I want to do is add a little bit of a black background here to it, make that pop. But we're good. We're good. So I'm gonna pause it real quick, and then I'm gonna actually just throw in a footer, and we can call it a day at this point. So 1 second. Hey guys, sorry about that. I actually had to restart my internet. I don't know what exactly happened. I mean, not my internet. I had to restart my application. I don't know what happened, but I tried to upload a couple of different things, in here and it just wasn't working. Nothing was popping up. My internet's been really slow. It's been running into issues, so that's probably what it is. But anyway, before I go though, I do want to show you that gradient because that's one thing that we kind of forgot to consider. I mean, that I kind of forgot to consider. So let's create that now. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply add our pretty much our ellipses here, and let me actually see if we can get this backward. There we go. Send this to the back as well. Okay, cool. So that way that it stays in this little section here. And let me just put one, I think, maybe up here, one over here, and that's it. Let's do like a bigger one here. Something like that. And this looks crazy now, but trust me, it's all gonna make sense in just a second. So let's color these ones blue. And then we're gonna make these two like a yellowish color. So let's go to yellow. And then instead of this, let's actually push it to more of a pastel. Something like that. So we get more pastel colors. Let's select all of these right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to effects. I'm going to select layer blur, and then I'm going to do, let's see, not 200. 200 might be too much. Let's do 150 to start off. Okay, now I understand we can do 200. Cool, that works. So now we can double click this and we can kind of manipulate, uh, the shapes and the gradients and kind of like point everything in the right in different directions. So it's pretty cool, right? I mean, of course you can play around with this more. Oops. I didn't mean to delete that. Wait, did I delete that? I don't know what happened there, but let me actually let me create another one of these. Let's put this in the corner. But you guys see what I'm saying, right? Like you can just kind of, you know, move things around and do whatever you want with it. I think for now though, this might be okay. Let's see actually. And then I think I'm gonna duplicate this just to make it a little darker. That's pretty cool though. Let's see if we can get this to be like a, stretch this out a bit or something like that. I don't know if I want to have a splash of color over here. And if I do, I might want to incorporate a little bit of blue too. Maybe just a hint of blue. No, I don't like it actually. This looks kind of cool. It just comes down to playing around with the shapes. Maybe if this was like a little bit more, no, maybe this was more prominent. Maybe I think this needs to be circular too. So let me delete this. Let's create another one of these. Yeah, I think it needs to be circular too. So let's go ahead and add this. That's good. Let's get rid of this. Fine, actually. I'm trying to do it to where it's subtle. I think this looks pretty cool though. I don't know, just but you understand what I mean, right? Like just playing around with the shapes. We can even delete this one, get rid of that, just have a little burst of color coming in. But that's just pretty much how you create these. It took me a little bit to understand how to exactly do it when I was first learning, but yeah, that's all you got to do. And it just all comes down to playing with shapes and manipulating them. When you double click, you can pretty much get the vector tool and shape it however you like. That's all up to you. But just wanted to show you how to do that. Um, I actually even like it just yellow. I think just there's nothing wrong with just yellow either. I think one thing that I would do though is maybe turn down some blue. I think that looks pretty cool. Remove that, and I think we can probably duplicate this one and put it over here. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then lastly, too, one more thing I want to show you is that you can add noise to this to kind of get a little bit of that noisy gradient. I want to make that darker actually, but let me show you how to do that. So let's run the plugin noise, and what we're gonna do is wait for this to pop up. 1 second. Okay, give it a little more time. There we go. So let me reduce its density. So this is actually going to create a little bit of grain on top of the on top of our gradient here. So um, wait, did it work? Did it implement? Where'd it go? I don't think it did. Let's try one more time. I probably hit the wrong button. Wait for it to show up. Internet's being real slow right now. Whatever. I know that might be around the type that we need. So let's bring this over to the front. Wait, it's not even. It didn't even show up. Like nowhere though. Hold on. Wait a second. There we go. Cool. There we go. So now, let me make sure that this is inside the frame. Cool. All right. I know this looks a little bit wild now. But since it's behind all the content, let me double check. Since it's behind all the content now, what I can do is actually can make this a little bit lighter. And this just adds a little bit of texture to whatever section you're working on. And you can essentially, say now has a little bit of texture to it. So at this point now, what you can do is you can pretty much fine tune and play around with the textures. And you can do this pretty much for every texture that you find on the internet, really. And just layer it and play around with it a little bit. But I wanted to add that just for some texture. And let's see what we did. I think we did pretty good, but let's just see how we did. Let's play this and check it out. We're done here now, though. We're done now. Pat yourself on the back. Wonderful job. Y'all did a great job. Hopefully, y'all were here all the way through. I hate when these little grids pop up. It only does it. It only does it once in a while. If you guys know why those little lines popped up, please let me know because it's honestly kind of frustrating when I'm trying to present work. But this is how the gradient came out. The little bit of noise, a little bit of grain. Um, looks good. Looks smooth. I see one more detail I'm going to go ahead and edit. See, I don't know why it does that. Let me see. It used to be when I hit width, it went back to normal, but for some reason it doesn't even bother to do that. But it's okay. You guys get the gist. Last thing I want to do is make this circular. I mean, make this kind of rounded off like the rest of it. Cool. And then for this, let me fix this. Oh, actually, what I can do is this. Independent corners. So let's do the top left. let's do the top left straight at 0, and let's do the bottom left at 0. And now that's perfect there. And then with this one, what we can do is at the top right, we can do 6 as well. And then at the bottom right, no, actually, we don't even need anything on the bottom right. Yeah, we don't need anything on the bottom right, just the top right. That's it. The rest of this can be straight like it is, and that's perfect. All right, so let's do this run real quick. So the top left corner radius, that can stay where it's at. Bottom left corner radius, that can go to 0. Same thing for this one too. Top left. Cool. And then let's see. And then let's go ahead and make this bottom left, top right. Cool. I always do that. I always mix it up. So it's this one right here. All right. Perfect. Cool. So that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have fun with it. Play around with it. Take your time. Of course, we're about 1 hour and 30 minutes into it. If you made it this far, pat yourself on the back, man. I know these things take a while and it takes some time to really perfect. So, I hope you guys liked this walkthrough. I hope you guys liked, building this homepage out. And yeah, hopefully, you guys learned a thing or two. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you need any help with anything, of course, drop another comment below. Hit me up on Twitter. Whatever it is that you need to do, I'm here for you. All right. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Oh, and wait a minute. Hit subscribe if you like this content. More is going to be coming soon. Like I said, as I learn and figure all this YouTube stuff out, I'll be able to push out more content and be able to create shorter videos. But for now, thank you for rocking with me. Take care, guys.